Namo Siddhanam. Jai Jinendra, everyone. Welcome to the first session and the second topic of Jain Heritage Festivals, Festival 2022. And this is jainheritagecenters.com is celebrating its 20th anniversary. And as part of this initiative, uh, we have started with Jain Heritage Festival 2022. And as part of this is the first webinar related to the theme Antiquity of Jainism. And over here, we have two topics. We have the second topic where we have the speaker over here is Dr. Shubha Majumder ji. And Shubha Majumder ji will be speaking about Antiquity of Jainism in Bihar. And before I let Shubha Majumder ji take over, I'll just give a quick introduction about Shubha Majumder ji, and then we can have Shubha Majumder ji speak over. And Shubha Majumder ji presently works as the Superintending Archaeologist, Archaeological Survey of India, Kolkata Circle. And he's a young, promising scholar in the field of archaeology, art, and iconography. And he has obtained his master's from the University of Calcutta in archaeology. Then he did his postgraduate diploma in archaeology from the Institute of Archaeology, Archaeological Survey of India, New Delhi, and passed in 2009. He has also qualified UGC JRF in 2009. He completed his doctoral research work on Jainism in ancient Bengal, a study of its archaeology, art, and iconography from the Department of Archaeology, University of Calcutta. He has been credited for publishing more than 50 research papers on different aspects of art, iconography, and archaeology, and particularly with focus on Eastern and Central India in many national and international journals. And he has published a book on Jaina heritage of Chara, and edited a book, Pratna Darpan, published by Anchalik Itihas Loka Sanskriti Char Kendra. He has actively participated and also conducted excavations and explorations in different parts of India. He received Professor Sudhir Ranjan Das Memorial Prize for the best paper entitled Rajgir, an epicenter of Jaina art tradition in Eastern India and observation, which was presented at the 72nd session of the Indian History Congress, Punjab University, Patiala in 2001 as part of the archaeology section. In 2015, he received Jaina Puratatva Prerana Award for the contribution in the field of Jaina art and archaeology in Eastern India from one of the oldest Jaina institutions, Sri Bharatavarsha Digambar Jaina Tirtha Samrakshini Mahasabha, New Delhi. And he also received Sanskriti Sanrakshikya Award for the protection and conservation of the Jaina heritage in Eastern India from the Bharatavarsha Tirtha Samrakshini Mahasabha in 2020. He has also received the prestigious title of Puratatva Sanskriti Sambradak from Bharatavarsha Digambar Jaina Tirtha Samrakshini Mahasabha, Kolkata. And if you look at the awards, the kind of work he has done, it is very clearly evident that he is a person who is dedicated towards the cause of history, heritage, and archaeology, and particularly Jain history, heritage, and archaeology. And I think it's a blessing to the Jain community and also to the world to have such a young, promising researcher who has done tremendous research at such a young age. And nowadays, of late, when we speak about Jainism in Eastern India, many a times the first name that comes to us is Shubha Majumder ji. That is the kind of work he's done. And he's a very humble person. Look at his humbleness. He was there with Mahasabha for another event. Just before this event, he's just wrapped that up. He was on another meeting earlier in the day. In spite of all that, in spite of all his busy schedules, and also being the superintendent of an archaeology circle is not a small thing. That to Kolkata, which is one of the very ancient regions and a very busy kind of excavation and field work, is always there. When I last called him to finalize his session, he said he was returning from a field work. I think in a week, 3 to 4 days, he's in the field, and the remaining 3 to 4 days, he's in his office and also attending many seminars and working on a lot of Jainism related activities. I think it's such a honor for us to have Shubha Majumder ji along with us. And before we start, I think we all know Bihar and Jharkhand is a region where most of the Tirthankaras had attained the salvation, that is at Samed Shikhar, which was part of erstwhile Bihar. Now it is part of Jharkhand. Nevertheless, whenever we speak about the history of Bihar, we always also have to speak about history of Jharkhand. Bihar and Jharkhand, maybe geographically they might be divided now, but historically they are always connected, and the Jain history is always connected to each other. And it's always an honor to have to hear about the history of Bihar, a region which is the place of Moksha or the salvation of 20 Tirthankaras, over 20 Tirthankaras in the Jaina philosophy. And let's now hear out, like what they say is philosophy supported by history and archaeology and inscriptions always helps us prove the antiquity of a particular religion. I think that is what it is. Through this lecture, we'll be able to see those connections, the intersections and interlock between these various historical, archaeological artifacts that help us prove the antiquity of Jainism in this holy land of Bihar. With this, I'll hand over the stage to Dr. Shubha Majumder ji. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Jain Heritage Center, to organize such a type of wonderful festival like Jain Heritage Festival 2022. So, and as a part of this festival and organizing such type of webinar, and also it really feel proud that and they gave me chance to discuss about the Jain heritage or Jain archaeological remains of Bihar. And before entering into my lecture, I have some view that it is true that already Nitin said that Bihar and Bihar and Jharkhand is presently bifurcated as two separate state. However, geographically there are some difference and as well as the political boundary as now. But when I explored the Bihar earlier and I also explored the Jharkhand, and I feel that the Jain heritage, but Jain art style which developed in Bihar, it not always reflected the same art style in Jharkhand. However, the Jharkhand Jain art style is very much close to the art style of Purulia and Bankura and Birbhum, because the Jharkhand is present is one of the core area of Chotanagpur Plateau, and I have published some paper already that I have highlighted that they are in an around the Chotanagpur Plateau such art center or some we can say that some tradition of art tradition, local art tradition evolved on and the art style which evolved in the Chotanagpur Plateau is there is some difference between the art style which developed in the Rajgir or in the northern northern part of Bihar. And in one of my paper, I have already published the paper in Indian History Congress, the Rajgir as an epicenter of Jain art style. And in this paper, this paper is already published, and I have tried to show, try to highlight it about the art style which developed in the Rajgir region. And in my presentation, I also highlighted this view or concept because when we study the art heritage or sculptural art of Eastern India, all the scholar thought that the art style developed through the Pal Sheno period, the so-called art style of Pal Shen period. But whenever you study the region in micro level, you can find that there are some different type of school or different type of art style which developed in the micro level. So now it now is in the present days, it is really necessary to study the archaeological evidence in micro level. If we study the archaeological remains on any type of like Jain art style in micro level, but Jain architecture style in micro level, we definitely found that there are some difference in region to region. So now I have started my presentation on antiquity of Jainism in Bihar. It is well known that Bihar was one of the holy state or holy land where the we can call that the Jainism originate in Bihar, because a good number of among the 24 Tirthankara, most of the Tirthankara get mokshed in the land of this holy land, now presently in Jharkhand in Sammet Shikhar. However, till date, we have the Bihar was the birthplace of Bhashubhojja, 12th Tirthankar, Munishubroto, 20th Tirthankar, and Mohabit also. So this land is very much importance, or the archaeology of this land is very much associated with the Jainism. Jainism, which is one of the ancient religion in Indian subcontinent, flourished more than 1000 years. I have already mentioned in my presentation that, and in another point, that Bihar was the earliest stronghold of Jainism. We have the early antiquity of Jainism in this webinar. Our first speaker already said that the in the Jain antiquity regarding the Harappan, and we have the some torso which has discovered from the Harappan context, and this torso has some connection or stylistically related with the Jain Tirthankara figure. And in Bihar, we have the some earliest evidence of Jain antiquity. We have the Lohanipur torso. Like archaeological evidence, we have the some earliest archaeological evidence. Although the 24 Tirthankar Mohabit played an important role for enrichment and development of the Jainism in the region, but the earliest Tirthankar Rishabhnath clearly laid the foundation of this religion. The three other Tirthankar were also born in the state of Bihar. I have already mentioned about. So the Bihar, the Jainism has close connection with the Bihar, its origin as well as its development, because we have the Chandragupta, who was one of the follower of the Jainism, and the Bhadrabahu, one of the Acharya of the Jainism. Bhadrabahu also, the birthplace is close to the Bihar present day in Bangad or in Purnavardhan area of Bengal, Bangad area of Bengal, which is also closely associated with the Bihar. So Bihar has earlier association with the Jainism. And the Udaybhadra, the successor of Ajatashatru, was a Jain devotee and built a Jain shrine in Patliputra. The Nandas are known as a great devotee of Jainism. We have all known about the history of the Nandas. And the Ashoka is believed to have been a great tolerant of the Jain religion as attested by his rock edict. If we follow the rock edict of Ashoka, though Ashoka is flourished as a very much patron to the Buddhism, but the rock edict of the Ashoka also indicate that he has some philosophy, belief on the philosophy of the Jainism, like the ahimsa. So this is also connected with the an early antiquity or early association of the Jainism with the land of Bihar. The successor of the Ashoka was responsible for the ring up the large number of the Jain edifice in this region. A good number of the Jain icon from the different parts of Bihar have been already been discovered, and several scholars have studied them with different viewpoint. The study of the Jain remains from the Bihar has drawn considerable attention from the long period of time among the different scholars like R.P. Chandra, M.M.H. Qureshi, U.P. Shah, R.N. Misra, and A. Ghosh. So the Jainism, Jain antiquity of the Bihar has already studied by earlier scholar also with some different view. And Friedrich Escher has also studied some Jain images from Rajgir belonging to the period of 550 to 700 AD. Susan Huntington, in his book of Pal Shener School of Sculpture, has also highlighted about the Jain antiquity of Bihar. In recent year, the M.N.P. Tiwari, Dr. C.P. Sinha, Dr. B.K. Shohai, and Kamal Giri, and others have also studied the different aspect of Jain antiquity or Jain remains of Bihar in different viewpoint. However, all the earlier study, they have studied the Jainism in a very small manner. Like they studied the one images, or they when they study the Jainism in Eastern India in Eghosh books. You can go through the book of Eghosh, and you can find that in the chapter of the Jainism in Eastern India, that we have some evidence of the Rajgir Jain antiquity like this. So there are some lacuna about the detailed study of the Jain antiquity or detailed study of the Jain art in Bihar. So because in Bihar, whenever the archaeology or art history of the Bihar are studied, basically they focus on the Buddhism, because we have a good number of the Buddhist antiquity on the different parts of Bihar. However, the recent exploration also they reflect that not only the Buddhism, Jainism also flourished in this land, and we have the good number of the Jain antiquity scattered, not only preserved but also the scattered in the different part of the Bihar. This is one of the earliest so-called Jain Tirthankara images. However, the head portion of the image is not preserved, and also the pedestal portion. These two Tirthankara are one of the most close to associated with iconography, similar to the Jain Tirthankara discovered from the uh, Lohanipur, Bihar. And the feature or the stylistic feature of this both these images is closely associated with the Jain iconography, Jain Tirthankara images, and both the images belonging to the on the basis of their polish belonging to the Mauryan period. So we have the textual reference, and we have the earliest archaeological reference regarding the Jain antiquity from Bihar. This is one of the earliest antiquities from Bihar, and this is the another images belonging to the Shunga Kushana period, and images of 20 Tirthankara Parshvanath, and presently housed in the collection of the Gopi Krishna Konar Patna. The image was actually discovered on the bank of Ganga in near to the Patna city. In this Tirthankara, you can see that the Tirthankara standing in Kayatashakra posture, and at two miniature Tirthankara seated close to the feet of the Tirthankara, and the body posture and the body structure is very much very stocky figure. So it on the basis of the iconography feature is we may call that this is image belong to the Kushana late Kushana or early Gupta period. So this we have the Jain antiquity from in the early Gupta phase from Bihar. In the Shunga Kushana period, we have very limited evidence of the Jain images so far discovered from the Bihar. The Patliputra excavation revealed some Noigamesho images, which most probably attest the spread of Jainism during the said period. The similar type of Noigamesho figure also found from the Mongol court in West Bengal, belonging to the Kushana period. So we can say that the same tradition of the Noigamesho figure was flourished in this area, both Bihar and Bengal, during the time of Kushana period. And it is true that during the Gupta period, the sculptural art of the Jain pantheon started and appear in the scene attested by the database from the present study area. The artistically the Jain images of the period carry some significant feature which are quite different from the previous as well as the later cultural phase. In connection to the iconoclastic feature of the Jain images, some new elements were introduced in the particular period, which also continue in the later period, and some develop in form. The main important Jain center in our study area, Rajgir, Patliputra, Chausha, Bhagalpur, Jamui, Mahadev. So these are the some important cluster of the site from where we can found the Jain antiquity. This is one of the earliest images found from the Rajgir. On the hill above the over the hill, there is some a monastery also, and in this monastery, this is a Tirthankara of Neminath. So there are some inscription found in the pedestal, from where we the some word is readable as the Chandra. So a scholar identify the images belonging to was most probably donated by the Chandragupta of the Gupta period. So and in the base on the basis of the representation of the conch, we can identify the images as a Tirthankar Neminath. The feature which is the main important features of the Jainism in Bihar, that the presence of cognizance or symbol of Tirthankara in pair, or we can say that the conch is depicted in both the side, two conches is depicted in both the side of a wheel, and this wheel is also associated with the Neminath. There are some textual or Jain literature source where it is clearly mentioned that one of the dream is associated with the Tirthankar Neminath is connected with the wheel, and in Bengal and Bihar the Jain images, the Tirthankar and Neminath images depicted with the conch as well as in with the wheel. So both the symbol is depicted with the Tirthankara Neminath, and this is the one of the earliest images belonging to the Gupta period. And the and the features depicted in the double pair of the cognizance, which is also important because in later images in Bengal as well as Bihar, we found that this double pair of cognizance also depicted during the early medieval as well as the medieval images of Bengal and Bihar. The pedestal, the both the pedestal, we have the figure of a lion. We can say the two lion is depicted in the corner of the pedestal. The center of the pedestal contain a oblong spoked wheel or chakra. The princely figure standing in Devanga posture in front of the wheel. The image is clad in an diaphanous uttariyo and dhoti. The dhoti reach up to the knees and it is by a knot, and in it both side from the former hangs. So this miniature figure may be identified as a Prince Neminath figure, or we can call it as a Chakra Purush also. Because the similar type of features, like in Bengal, we have one copper plate discovered from the Mollo Sharul in Bardhaman, where the similar type of features or figure is depicted in front of a wheel. A small DT is depicted in copper plate, and it is 6th century copper plate found from the Bardhaman. And this Mallasharul copper plate also contains a similar type of iconographic features. And in if you consider the background background depiction is like a wheel, so similar type of wheel also depicted in the Shushunia rock inscription of Chandra Barmon. So there are some connection with the Chakra as well as the similar type of feature found from the Bengal also. So there are some we can call that because the images of the Neminath from Rajgir, only we can found the name of Chandra. So it is clear. It is not clear from the inscription that the images was donated by the Chandragupta. However, in the seal of the Mallasharul, where also we found from the Gopo Chandra. So there is also the Chandra, and as well as the Shushunia inscription where the wheel is depicted. There are some inscription known as a Chandra Barmon. So the Chandra is depicted in 3 places. So there are some connections. I think these 3 images has close connection with each other. And I have recently studied on this, and hopefully I can try to share the more view on this aspect also. This is another one of the important archaeological site in Bihar associated with the Jainism. This is the Shonbhandar cave, and inside the cave there are some images depicted in the rock cut cave. In the left side we can see that the 3 standing 2 standing figure and 3 seated Tirthankara images, and in the right side one seated figure of Tirthankara. So 6 images depicted in the Shonbhandar cave, inside the rock cut cave. And the figure is also very much interesting because the similar type of feature which we already found in the Rajgir, the freestanding sculpture of Neminath, the similar type of feature we also found in the rock cut sculpture. This is the image of a Rishabnath, we can call, because on the basis of the hair lock of the Tirthankara Rishabnath. However, in the pedestal, only the lotus is depicted. So we can call as a Tirthankara Rishabnath without symbol, or we can call a syncretic form of Tirthankara Rishabnath and Padma Prabhu. Because in later, in early medieval phase, we have some syncretic figure where the both the symbol is depicted in one Tirthankara images. Also found from the I have documented in Bengal, basically, not only one or two, more than 5-6 images I have documented from Bengal, on as a syncretic Tirthankara, where the two symbol of two different Tirthankara depicted in one Tirthankara images. Here we can call that this is a Tirthankara of Rishabnath or Padma Prabhu. This is the another sculpture, seated images of Tirthankara Parshvanath. So here also in the pedestal, the two elephant is depicted and flanking by one wheel. So in the background of the Tirthankara, it is clearly shown that the snake was snake hood. However, in the pedestal, the lanchana of the Ajitanath, like elephant, is depicted in pair position. So, and the attendant, as an attendant, we can see that Dhanendra was also standing just behind the Tirthankara Parshvanath. So the depiction, these images belonging to the Gupta period. During the Gupta period, the depiction of the Dhanendra as a yaksha was already started in Rajgir. So this is one of the important features in Rajgir School of Art, or we can call as a Rajgir as the epicenter of the Jain art. I have already talked about on this topic, that in and around Rajgir, one art style was developed, which is also flourish, which is also influenced by the Sarnath School of Art. But however, they developed their art style in own way. And the depiction of the pair, Tirthankara, the depiction of the Lanchan in pair, which is one of the important features of the Rajgir School of Art. In these images, there is another interesting images. This is we can call as a Tirthankara Mahabir. In the stela, back side of the images, the decoration has started. So the two fire like symbol is depicted. So the decoration of the back stela, which is very much common in the early medieval sculpture, like we can call as 10th, 11th, 12th century images. But in the Gupta period, the back slab is almost clean, almost clear. However, they started the depiction of some figure, some feature in the back slab of the Tirthankara. And this is another important features. We can call as the depiction of a Kalpo Briksho, a particular associated with the Tirthankara, is also depicted here, and as well as a devotee. This is the figure of a devotee which is badly chopped down or chopped in the later phase. So it is clearly shows that the devotee or the follower of the Jainism also engraved or carved in the rock cut cave of the Shonbhandar. This is some other figure which is depicted outside of the cave. This is another depiction of the wheel, and probably this is the attendant of the cave, and this is the also figure of a Tirthankara which is not fully carved. This is one of the important feature, one of the important images of Tirthankara Neminath. So we can because this is the important images of Tirthankara Neminath, where the planetary deities, both the side of the Tirthankara, the planetary deities is depicted. This is the one of the features which is also flourished in the later phase, early medieval phase, or 10th, 11th, 12th century. The beginning of the depiction of the planetary deities started in these images reflected here. And this is also the figure of Neminath and the 8 miniature Groho, Surya, Chandra, Mangal, Budh, Brihaspati, Shukra, and Rahu depicted here. So this is the another features or another important aspect of the Jain antiquity of Rajgir as well as in Bihar. This is the some damage or some sculpture associated with the Jainism, or we have documented during the field work from the Jamui region, Jamui itself. And this is this is the image of a Tirthankara. This is not Tirthankara images. This is the image of the Tirthankara, and this is the another important images, because here also this is a figure of Neminath and a colosho. A colosho is also depicted here. So the colosho as a symbol of Mollinath. So this may be the images of syncretic images of a Neminath and Mollinath. And there are some inscription of the 5th, 6th century, the of late Brahmi inscription. So on the basis of the inscription, we can date the images belonging to the 5th, 6th century CE. This is the image of the 21st Tirthankar Neminath, and the figure of the Neminath here also the conch is depicted flanked by the wheel, and the back stela started developing. So gradually we can clearly highlighted that in Rajgir region it is clearly shows the how the gradually the images started developing, like they started the rock cut as well as the freestanding images, they without back slab decoration, then gradually started the decoration of a back slab, and the pedestal also decorated, then the back slab contained the miniature figure of a 8 planetary deities like this. This is the one of the beautiful images found from the Bihar Rajgir region. This is the figure of the Rishabhnath, where also the wheel is two bull is depicted flanked by the wheel, and this is now presently in the Los Angeles Museum. In this presentation, I have tried to show that this is in the left side the images of a Buddha from the Sarnath, and these are some other features from some figure of the Jain Tirthankara found from the Rajgir. How the Sarnath school of art, which was developed Sarnath, has some influence in the Rajgir region art style, like the halo decoration of the halo. The fire was depicted here. Similar type of the fire depicted in the Sonbhandar cave sculpture. Like the postures of his foot, and the back slab decoration, like small decoration. Here you also found the small type of the decoration engraving, and the position of the foot, and the depiction of a double cognizance or double symbol symbol of the Tirthankara flanked by the wheel. So I have tried to show that how one art school also clearly influenced another art school, which is contemporary each other. This is the another images which is not very much late. This is the one of the images belonging to the 5th, 6th century CE from Bhagalpur Museum. This is the image of Parshvanath, because on the basis of the backside, the snake, the snake is depicted. So you can call this is the image of a Parshvanath from the Bhagalpur region, presently displayed in the Bhagalpur Museum, State Archaeology Museum. And this is the another rock cut sculpture. Like the Sonbhandar, we have the rock cut Jain images from Sultanganj. We have the rock cut sculpture in Odisha also, and as well as from the Assam, Guwahati, Suryapar. In Bihar, except Sonbhandar, we have the Jain rock cut sculpture from Sultanganj, Bihar. This is the images of a Rishabhnath, and in the both the in the back in the stela in the pedestal, the Surya, the wheel is depicted flanked by the two miniature lion. This is the another figure from Tirthankara, Tirthankara Neminath and Tirthankara Ajitanath and Parshvanath. So this is another syncretic figure, because in the pedestal the elephant is depicted and the snakehood is also depicted behind the head of the Tirthankara. So this is another syncretic images from the Rajgir region, Rajgir hill, and this is from the monastery of the Jain monastery, and this is the images of a Neminath, standing image of a Neminath. And here also the Tirthankara flanked by the miniature planetary deities, 8 planetary deities. The earlier images, which is I already shown that the planetary deities depicted within a small boxes. However, gradually the sculpture gradually developed, the art style gradually developed, and then they stylized, they depicted the planetary deities in stylized way. Like this similar type of the stylized depiction we have found from the our Bohulara, Siddheshwar temple, Bohulara. Inside the temple there is a one beautiful image of a Parshvanath, and a similar type of planetary deities depicted in the Bengal sculpture, Bengal Jain images. So there are some close similarity with one school of art with the another school of art, which is flourished in contemporary period. And this is the beautiful and beautiful images, very much preserved in Rajgir region, Rajgir hill, where the depiction, some element, new element we found, the the depiction of a hand is found in these images. The depiction of a attendant, who have the depiction attendant with the hairstyle. Their hairstyle is gradually developed to Vidyadhara. Vidyadhara is also depicted here, and the back slab decorated with a two pillar structure with floral design. So gradually the art style of the Rajgir region or in Bihar gradually develop and enter in new elements in images. This is one of the important images of Tirthankara Muni Subroto. The 20th Tirthankara Muni Subroto, the birthplace, the Bihar was one of the birthplace of the Tirthankara Muni Subroto. And this is the very rare images in Bihar, and the similar type of images we have from the PC Nahar collection in Calcutta. In these images, the Bohupurni Yakshi of Tirthankara Muni Subroto depicted here in reclining posture, and in the center a wheel, or we can say as a dharma chakra, is depicted here. However, in the Pisinahar collection, these images already identified by the Devola Mitra as a similar type of images as a Muni Subroto. However, here we can see that a small colossus is depicted here. If these images we can identify as a Bahupani Yakshi of Tirthankara Muni Subroto, but the depiction of a colossus indicate that this is one of the symbol of Tirthankara Mollinath. So we can call we may call these images as a syncretic images, or we can call this is a Purno Patra or Purno Ghat, was one of the Ashtamangolic symbol of Jainism. And this is the Tirthankara Shantinath images. Tirthankara Shantinath, here also the two Lanchana depicted deer, one of the Lanchana of Tirthankara Shantinath depicted here. This image is found from the Nalanda. So we all know Nalanda is a Buddhist monastery. However, in and around the Nalanda, the Jainism is also flourished, and the presence of these images, it clearly indicates that Jainism is also flourished in and around the Nalanda region. If we explore the region extensively, I am sure that we have more evidence of the Jainism. And this is another images from presently in collection of the SN Shingi collection of Calcutta from Rajgir region. This is from the Tirthankara Rishabhnath from Goa. These images actually found in the near to the railway station. There is a Jain temple, and inside the Jain temple, these are two beautiful images preserved. And this is the images of Tirthankara Rishabhnath. The two bull is depicted, flanked by the wheel, and this is the images of a Shantinath, beautifully engraved, and we can call it beautiful images, the art style or reflected in the images. The hairstyle of these images, though this is the Tirthankara Shantinath, but the hairstyle of the Tirthankara is very much interesting, that it indicate the Jata Juto like the Rishabhnath. So I think that this type of the this type of a concept has already is practices in this region. Like in a single images, they try to introduce or try to highlight the other element of other Tirthankar, like the Jata Juto, which is the main feature or identical feature of Tirthankar Rishabhnath, also depicted here. Though in the pedestal, they they depicted deer also, as well as as a feature. So this is the another important images. This images is preserved in the Navada Museum. This is the image of a Tirthankar Parshvanath, and this is very important because similar type of the images presently preserved in the Jiaganj Museum in Murshidabad. Here, this is the Tirthankara Parshvanath images from the Navada. However, in the pedestal, the two elephant flanked in the both the side of the wheel, and the Navagraha depicted in the pedestal. However, in the Tirthankara images of the Jiaganj Parshvanath images, in this context, they depicted the two snake flanked by the wheel. So this is clearly shown that how the art style of the Sarnath or the in Bihar, the element which is introduced in Bihar in later affected or reflected in the art style of the Bengal also. This is the inscription which engraved in the pedestal of the Navada Museum. And this is the Navada Museum where the planetary deities was depicted in the pedestal. The similar type of the depiction of the pedestal found from the Dinajpur Museum, Bangladesh. This is the image of Chandra Prabhu, and this is the image of a Babladi Shantinath images where the Tirthankara depicted in the pedestal also. Oh, sorry, planetary deities depicted in the pedestal. In Rajgir, I have already shown that the planetary deities depicted in the both the side of the back slab. However, they gradually developed their art style, and they also depicted the planetary deities not only in the back slab but also in the pedestal of the Tirthankara. So, and these similar features also found from the Bengal as well as the Bangladesh images. This is the images from Bangladesh, and I have Bengal as the Dinajpur. I have tried to show that how the wheel, the concept of the wheel, also depicted in these images of the Parshvanath image of Navada or other images of the Rajgir region, also depicted in the Jain images of Bangladesh as well as the Bengal also. The depiction another I have tried to explore the another features, that the depiction of the pair symbol of the lanchan. This is the one of the beginning of the depiction of the lanchana figure in double-sided double cognizance, and this is the images from the Bengal. where this is the image of Shantinath. The wheel is depicted and flanked by the two deer. This is the images of a Neminath in collection of the Pisinhar collection, and this is the images of also Neminath they depicted from Bangladesh, and the two pair of lanchan depicted here. Another features, this is the images of a Rishabhnath images from Boishali, Bihar, and here also the in the center part of this images some deity or some Devi images is depicted, and the similar type of depiction also found in the Malda Museum images of the Rishabhnath images, where the Chakreshwari is depicted in the center of the pedestal. In this is the images of from the Rishabhnath images from the Pagbida, where the Chakreshwari is also depicted. And this is the another images from the Dinajpur, Bangladesh, where the Chakreshwari is also depicted. So in the eastern part of India, basically then Bihar and Bengal, the Yakshi is not depicted, regularly not depicted in the both the side of the pedestal of a Tirthankara. Whereas in the central India, in every images, Yaksha and Yakshi depicted in the corner of the pedestal of the Tirthankara. However, in the Bengal and Bihar, the depiction of Yaksha Yakshi is not commonly found. However, in these images, we found the depiction of the Yakshi in the center part of the pedestal. So this is the another feature which also developed in Bihar and gradually depicted in the other images from Bengal and as well as from Bangladesh also. This is the image of Shantinath images from Bhagalpur, and I have tried to show that some similar body structure. This is images of the Shantinath images from Bengal. This is images from Nalanda, and the scholar identify the images as a Buddhist images. However, I have some doubt. I think this is images of Tirthankara Rishabhnath or Adinath on the basis of the Yata depicted here. This is some other features, other images in Bodh Gaya temple. In Bodh Gaya temple, if you explore the Bodh Gaya area, you also found the Jain antiquity. And in Bodh Gaya temple, some images I have some doubt about the identification, because I think this is the images of Tirthankar images, but over the year they have colored the images, and as a result, the quality or the particular feature almost lost. So I think this is the images of a Tirthankara images depicted or fixed in the Bodh Gaya temple. This is another beautiful images of a Tirthankara, Yakshi Ambika of Tirthankara Neminath, and presently these images are kept in the Pisinhar collection in Kolkata. However, they collected these images from the Rajgir region, according to the source, and this is a Jain tutelary couple or Jain parents found from the Jamui. And this in Bengal we have a good number of the feature of the images like Jain tutelary couple, where the father and mother of the Tirthankara is depicted here, and above this the Tirthankara is depicted. And like this, we have the Jain parents or Jain tutelary couple from Bengal. This is the intact images from Bengal, and this is the damaged images from Bihar, Jamui. This is another images of the Jain tutelary couple from Khorsava, which is another important Buddhist archaeological site in Bihar. That when the scholar or when the archaeologists explore the Bihar, they have the background concept that the Bihar was flourished as a Buddhist archaeology or Buddhist heritage. But in most of the archaeological site in Bihar, we have the antiquity of the Jain antiquity, but they not reported these images, or they not study the images, or they not include these images in their report. As a result, the Jain research in Bihar is still neglected. This is the Ashtapada Tirtha sculpture from or Sahasra Tirthankara Potto from the Bihar. This is from Indpe, South Bihar. This is another Ashtapada Tirtha from Bhagalpur. A similar type of the Ashtapada Tirtha are found from the Bengal also, from Shaddeul as well as from Patbira. So this type of the concept, the depiction of the Ashtapada Tirtha is also present in the Bihar. This is the Jain Chomukha from Rajgir, presently preserved in the Nalanda Museum. This Chomukha is a beautifully engraved Chomukha. In the fourth side of the Chomukha, the fourth Tirthankara is depicted here. This is the Tirthankara Parshvanath images from Nalanda Museum. Again, the Parshvanath images from Nalanda. But if you explore the Nalanda, if you study the Nalanda archaeological report, you not found that the Jain antiquity found from this Nalanda. It is obvious that this is not found inside that monastery complex, but in and around the Nalanda, there are some archaeological remains, and from this site, these images was found and presently displayed in the Nalanda. And this is the images not early in the 13th 14th century images on the basis of the inscription. So it clearly shows that during the 13th 14th century, the Jainism is also flourished or also present in and around Nalanda. Now, this is the Jain temple from Kakandi. Though the ancient temple is almost already lost, but over the foundation of the ancient temple, this temple was constructed in 19th century. The Kakandi, one of the important archaeological site, and inside the temple, a Tirthankara image is depicted along with some inscriptions. And according to the inscriptions, the images was installed in 1348 CE. So in 1348 CE, Jainism is also flourished, also survived in Bihar. However, according to the scholar, after the invention of the Islam in Nalanda, the Buddhism was declined, and the other monk they left the Patna or Nalanda. However, the Jainism still survived. In 1348, the image was installed or the temple was constructed. So it indicates that the survivors, that the Jainism still continuing their presence in Bihar. I thank you again, the Jain Heritage Nitin, especially to give me the chance to share my some view about the Jain antiquity and Jain of the Bihar. And I think I have able to highlight some features which need to explore more and more. If you explore the region in entire region with the concept that the Jainism is also present in Bihar, then I am sure that we have found more Jain antiquity from this holy state. Thank you.
Thank you, Shubha Majumder ji. I think this was a very enlightening lecture. And in fact, do we have any questions from the audience? If you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand, and we can definitely. We have a question here, sir. Any thoughts on any? Do you have any thoughts as to why more than one Lanchana symbols are represented on the pedestal of Tirthankaras? Some of such idols are also seen in other rock cut temples as well in Eastern India too. And thank you for the wonderful lecture. This is from Dhruti from United States. So even I had a similar question, sir. I mean, only in Eastern India we see this. Any specific reason based on your research, sir?
No, actually, I have explored the text also, but I have not found any reference. But I have recently preparing a paper on similar type of concept that I think in one images they try to worship the uh, two or three image three deity in like in most of the cases we found that the syncretic image of a first and last, like uh, in a single images they worship the Mahavir and Rishabhnath. So I think they almost cover the 24 Tirthankara. It may be that this type of the their concept, or like Rishabhnath and Ajitanath. So they cover the first and second Tirthankara in one images. It may be that they have some not enough source to engrave or to produce the more and more images. So on the basis of one images, they try to worship more than one Tirthankara in a single time. Like in Chaumukha, we have the concept of the Chaumukha is the worship the one Tirthankara, and his images in the other three sides. However, in the Chaumukha we found the fourth Tirthankara in four sides. So in a single images, in a single Chaumukha, they worship the fourth Tirthankara.
Right.
Like this, the syncretic features. I think that they try to follow this type of concept, but I have not found any reference in Jain literature till now.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think, do we have any questions? Please feel free to raise your hand or type out the question. If you would like to speak, please feel free to switch on your video, and probably you can speak to Shubha Majumder sir directly. If there are no other questions, probably I think we will conclude the session. I think before we conclude, I think thank you so much, Shubha Majumder sir, for such an enlightening lecture, and particularly taking us back to the land of moksha, or land of salvations of the Tirthankaras, the maximum number of Tirthankaras in the Jaina philosophy. And moreover, I think some of the key observations, what I felt, sir, which you mentioned about the presence of elephant in the pedestal of a Parshvanath Tirthankar. If you look at that, that is the idol of Kamatopasarga Parshvanath, which is related to the Kamata as Upasarga. And as per the Puranic references, we see that Tirthankara Parshvanatha, when the Kamatopasarga was given to him, or when the Upasargas were given, and even he was also attacked by elephants, is what they say. Probably, I think that is what they are trying to depict over there as part of the pedestal. I think it's just the sculptor's creative thinking is what I feel. And along with that, sir, I think some of the other very important aspect that we found over here was the reclining idol of Bahurupini Ekshi at Rajgir, and also in West Bengal along the pedestal of Manisuvrata. I think this is one of the very big revelations, I should say, which is not much known to the external world. This is a very interesting aspect that we could see, and also the Jaina tutelary couples at Jamui and also in West Bengal. I think we have this is again a good unique art form that we see only in Eastern India. I feel we don't get to see this in Western India or in Central India or in North or Southern India. And in fact, we happened to come across a similar idol somewhere in very close in Southern Karnataka. Many of them were wondering what it is. I think now I am able to connect the dots. I think all these aspects, sir, I think it really helps us connect very interesting aspects of Jaina history and heritage. And it was definitely a very eye-opening lecture. In addition to just going to Bihar and Samet Shikarji and the surrounding regions as a pilgrim, I think it's time for us to look at it from an archaeological point of view as well, and spend an additional week or so in addition to what we spend, so that we are able to really enjoy, appreciate, and able to help conserve the rich Jain heritage of the region, is what is my feeling. I think thank you once again, sir. Thank you so much. Jain Heritage Centers would be highly indebted to you for such a very enlightening lecture. And moreover, I think there has been a lot of requests from our viewers to share the presentation. In fact, what I mentioned to them is we are coming out in the form of a book of all the lectures that will be presented. So through that, I think by sometime later this year or next year, we'll get to read all of them with the pictures and illustrations in the form of a book, is what I would like to say. Thank you once again, Shubha Majumdar sir. Thank you so much for such an enlightening lecture. Thank you one and all. Jain Centers and the team over here is highly indebted for you.